Hi there, TaffyRue here, and welcome to another exciting episode of Features by TaffyRue, where we get to put the spotlight on young, upcoming artists and creatives who are bubbling under. I'm a bit nervous in saying this intro because I'm doing it in front of and for a seasoned professional. I have the Sassy Ginger on the podcast with me today, and I'm super excited. You've probably seen her on ZBC's YGT, that is the Young, Gifted and Talented program for the young people. If not, you've probably heard her on the Power FM airwaves. And I'm super excited to be talking to her today because I'm on the other side of the questioning today. So I'm sure you can see the excitement. But welcome, Sassy Ginger. Thank you so much for coming.
Wow, thank you for having me. I was trying good data facing. I just say, well, she's still talking. So I tried smiling, looking down, looking at the camera.
The camera, yeah. I'm sure it's kind of weird to be on the other side of the questioning, yeah?
Very weird. And can I tell you something? I'm a bit nervous. So
how can you be nervous? You're in front of the camera all the time.
I think it's the other side because I've been to see what to do with my face, and the introduction also was making me blush and all.
It was making me blush. I think if you're white, you'd be turning red.
Yeah. It doesn't to turn purple, I think, slowly.
But do black people blush?
But it's okay.
So it's too dark to see the change in color of skin tone, maybe. Yeah. So, okay. So for those people who are living under a rock and who don't watch TV or maybe listen to the radio and they don't know who Sassy Ginger is, maybe you can start by telling us who you are. Is Sassy Ginger your real name? Who are you?
All right, so I think the reason why parents do not give us the chance to name ourselves is because of these kind of names, Sassy Ginger.
Yes.
Sassy Ginger. It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I was born at Tanatswa Judith Katawalyuwa.
Okay.
I always say it slow. And then Sassy Ginger. And what else am I supposed to do?
What do you do?
Oh, I am a journalist. I'm currently working as a producer-presenter at Power FM and as a presenter on YGT.
Interesting. So where did Sassy Ginger come from? Because there's no Sassy Ginger in Tanatswa and then your last name. So how did you come up with the Sassy Ginger?
Okay, so not kuti ndiri mudiki but pane a certain level pandakazochinja kuti I think I want to be a radio presenter. I was inspired by so many people and I didn't even know their names. And that is Butterfly and that is Chili. So I was like, if there's a chili, I can be a ginger. So, and then I had a friend in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So the definition of bubbly also means sassy, and sassy means strong, bold, impudent. So it could actually make ginger gawanda. So it's like, okay, how about Sassy Ginger? But with the ginger also, so I took the J on the Judith, and then they separate ginger could maybe Sassy Ginger. So I had so many names, but when I decided I wanted to do radio, so I would actually move around school. Ndini masitaka wanda, nandina Juicy Jade. And then and then TJ Ginger, and then what was the other one? I don't remember, but there were 4. So I had to move around school. Some points up, and then Sassy Ginger got many likes.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so I'm Sassy Ginger.
Interesting. What an interesting journey and how you came up with Sassy Ginger. You had a lot of thoughts put into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you decide? So you mentioned there that when you decided that, okay, I think I want to do TV or I want to do radio. When did you decide?
Okay. So growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer. So mukukura uchiona zvozvo zvinenge zvichiitika muenvironment and unongosina information yakawanda kuti lawyer anoita nezvei but unongochiona mamovies kuti ari kumiririra vanhu ariita sei like so with the environment yandiri kurarama ndiri I think I need there's certain things to be fair and committed around. You know, like I want to be a lawyer. And then with time, whenever natanga kona, I get to step up. So there was this DJ and DJ Penelope. I tajoku mixer, and I loved that. And then I actually asked my mom to buy me headphones. So that it was just cool. My days are chona. And then I would tell my cousins, I want to be a DJ. And then my cousin like, you're supposed to, do you know you're supposed to study journalism? I'm like, what does mixing music has to do with like journalism? Because journalist was out Ruben Barry is the journalist. Exactly. Like I don't want to be Ruben Barry. I want to be DJ Penelope. And then I just say I mix because already Nanda to do this future DJ and all. So I think Nanda Form 1, Form 2. That's when I started. I think I go Jumano on radio, and then I listened to KVG and Patisani. I'm like, okay, this is fun. And Mugudara. So I thought Kutano Garavaripo because I didn't understand radio. So in the next morning, I tuned in Kwankuni The Breeze. That was TaffyRue and Ayati. And they were so cool. I remember Jinono Gagendo Chikoro because of them. I'm like, I think I get it. I should study journalism so that I become a radio DJ. And so, of course, growing up, you would listen to Bubbling Bee, Dada Zoba, Lee K, Scott, and all, because they got it out. But then I think listening to 3 to 6 Express those days and The Breeze, I think I'm supposed to do radio. But also lawyer ngaishiri side. So nekuzoenda kwa high school nekuzoona kuti ma sports ari kurema ma points anozodiwa and all zvinozonetsa. I'm like, okay, I want to study journalism, but at the same time nezviri kuitika mu society, I also want to be a counselor. I'll study psychology. So process yekustudy psychology rikuya, but I studied journalism.
So how did you end up in TV?
Whoa, all right. All right, so I used to watch TV, of course, and nekuziva kuti inodava nuvari bubbly and all chichichi. I was not that person. Ndaingo nakids kwao nekuona vanhu vachiita. So pa YGT, Papa did this girl, ainzi Esnat Pachao, aita na Geraldine. Na Kimberly Mabika. So they were cool because vaita vari 3 vaskana, and then sometimes paimboyana kama chichichi. I'm like, one day chained up a YGT, one day chained up a YGT, and I think I was 13. And then I was to shake. I think I was 16 or I was 18. The banana that dream YGT I end up because it's young, gifted, and talented. And then I was like, let me just focus on radio because that's what I want also. So pandagazo yenda ku college pampani. The radio studio, yanengo posters and jangu. So pani this guy ananzi Teo events. Mamangu aka posted something and like, ko anaita easy. But I said ziyanga titiro something like this, and then Vita say va post. I think daka nguru hyper this Madam Boss song, and also it was event FM Faith. And I was supposed to, and the eater, and then there's a post. So there's this, there's a poster. So the reason why I mentioned Teo and also Mofela, don't forget to say the posting. So when there's a poster, there's this lecturer. I don't know, maybe he was talking or something, but Nagazo, he texted me on WhatsApp and what do you think? Nikuita say Nikuinda pa radio. Which radio? My sister works at ZBC and she has and then they talked to auditions. I'm like, auditions for what exactly? I mean, you may know the YGT. I was so excited. Because Nandanga to fungo to dream the YGT rato varana. And Banda yenda ko YGT, and then I met Julius and Adiola. They were voti, show us what you have. So I go back to YGT. So I already had a script and I had
it in your head. You had already auditioned.
Exactly. And then when I was so nervous because Adiola was not even smiling. Like, okay. Am I doing it wrong? And then Julius Babatandi took into studio. I got to do what couldn't record. I had to my auditions. So the first time I got my auditions, that is the first time I went on TV.
Wow.
And trust me, I think Taketa my retakes about and because Pampa na Natasha Chwara and Tango Mono pa TV. So I was nervous. I'm working with Natasha right now. And then she was like, it's okay, calm down. Can I retake? That can I take, but that's how I got
Yeah.
into TV. So I think don't Jenny at TV. It was not expected actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just worked out that way.
After giving up with that's
amazing. Hey, that's a very interesting story, hey?
I talk a lot, right?
Well, obviously that's why you're now on TV, because you're used to talking on camera like this. That's amazing. Okay, so yes, you mentioned that you wanted to do law, right? But then your dream then changed, and then you're now doing TV and on journalism. Why do you then have, get the energy? Where do you get the energy to keep doing it? Like, why do you keep doing TV or radio?
Okay, so also Pani, this lady that I started listening to, her name is Kutso. She's from South Africa. Currently, she's at Metro FM, and Ani this way, yeah, no connector with someone, and I'm one of the someones. So the way I no connector now through radio, and also it was the same. Also, my days and they tell that to Tarire, and I had to be like, I feel like they're talking to me. And also Nikuti feel like at first I'm getting fame, honestly.
Yeah.
It no go to when I cheated my pictures, but when I remember the first time I met KVG, I couldn't even breathe. And I also wanted someone to do that, Kadiri. But also, guys, like the connection that you do, you can actually change my lives someone's life can actually change because of you.
Yeah.
And just to be kind and also spreading that word, not going to sound very kind to the person, anyway, but just telling them to be kind to other people and also connect anyone. So that's the good thing about radio.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah.
And like with TV, man. With TV, you're supposed to be smiling, even with City Cool. All right, so I don't know. Tawana is not going to be happy when it comes to this one. So we had a fight.
Yeah.
We had a fight with Tawana, auntie, and it was very silly. Like, that's what friends do, right? It was very silly, and he took it too far. And then I was like, I'm not going to confront him, but I'm not going to talk to him. Comes day they could teach you to say teach it recording.
Yeah.
But I'm going to enter. Saka ni nango tango tawara. And then just no go to and so the crew like onoti apanaka that. Yeah. Can you sing and become karibo. And then there's this guy who came was like TV I see you guys are supposed to get along. We managed to do it for two weeks I think. But TV but at the same time I don't know if it's a good thing, but being in that space, it can make you numb your feelings and omboisa unge pressure yako per side and then focus on something.
Yeah.
So I think muvunza wanga ruenda wanza nyaya.
And I think that but I think it was nyaya kuti why do you keep doing what you're doing, right?
Okay.
And then you're talking about connection with radio, and then you were now talking about TV and saying why you continue to do TV, right? Though you're saying probably you like radio more than
I didn't
TV.
say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But I'm saying with radio you can fake your feelings. But with TV now your facial expression can say you out.
Yes, your body language, people can see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is Ripo. But you're the one who concluded and I didn't disagree, but I didn't say that.
But obviously, I know everybody has a favorite, right? So probably radio is one of those things for you that's a little bit of a favorite. Okay, so in terms of lessons that you've learned from doing both, right? What lessons have you learned from doing TV and from doing radio that you can apply to like life in general?
So DP. There's another lesson because I think takuzogera futi pa nyayo pane this boss. Wherever she is, I love her. Vaigona kushika over vakupoboterai ainzemeyatino vaigona shika over vakupoboterai, but you're supposed to smile on TV. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do, and unengo une frustration, but still nogona kuti sei kungo continue uchite zvaunenge uchita. So I think it also counter futi my life kuti not everything needs a reaction just because mumwe munhu akupopotero akuita sei. Not everything needs a reaction. You can actually just, I think the fake it till you make it what thingy, shanda. Yeah. And also with radio, sometimes nogona kunge uri, I think it also is just the same because sometimes you're not going to go study in the mood, and then I think boss back then right my problems are gonna see up a door and then over pinda ofadza vanhu over just say over abuda and uchipinda muda ofadza vanhu machona maybe playlist rako arikunakidza someone and then someone okutuka futi. So it's something that can mess with your mental health but you can actually deal with it. So I think inenge kazhinji kacho zvino contribute when it comes to your mental health. You just have to apply it also in life, but not everything needs a reaction. And also, sonyanyo dipisa when it comes to, I don't know how to say it in English.
And don't take things too personally.
Exactly.
Sometimes, people are going through stuff and they go through problems and they maybe take it out on you, but it's not your issue, it's not your problem.
Exactly.
So don't take it too personally.
That's thank you.
Yeah. It makes sense because I know it can be tough having to, be jovial, be joyous on radio or even on TV when you're not feeling. Because I know, life can be hard and then trying to then help everyone else who's listening to you to not dwell on their issues, but also find that joy can be hard.
Exactly. Because I think if you go on my social platforms, my highlights are, most of them I'll be dancing, singing and all. And then people are like, where do you get the energy?
Yeah.
From what you said, also apply out this life is too short. So don't know the energy.
Okay, no, that's a deep lesson there. Don't take things too personally, and life is too short to, dwell on the negative. So have energy, enjoy the bits of life that you do have, which is good. Okay, so let's say there's someone who wants to get into radio or TV. Like, what do they need to do? So you talked about studying journalism, but when you went on TV, had you studied journalism?
I was studying. I think Nandichango Tang.
Okay.
Yeah, Nandichango Tang. So I think it's just an added advantage because back then, even in Inwachin and Sandra Jumbo qualified. In Payato Kok Directed to my teenagers, to my 15, 16. And I think for someone who wants to do it, as long as you're to confidence, zako and and zoko camera, it's not like your experience and all. Confidence zako and you think that's what you love. And I don't think if you don't love anything, auntie. Usa wasted time kuvanhu vanozvida because unenge uchidya space yevanhu. So ndozvatiri kuedza kutaura kuti kana uchida and if you have a passion pazviri and also neconfidence yako you can do anything.
Okay.
You can be a radio and a TV presenter. As radio is a lot of work though.
I can imagine because I know that obviously when people are to start radio, it's not like, and you do get the opportunity to get a slot to, to be a presenter on a particular slot. I know you don't just get the regular hours.
But some you're supposed to go through the graveyard, and the graveyard it's more like a graduation.
Okay.
Can wait at 12 to 3. Now I could graduate to 3 to 6.
Yeah.
And can not graduate to 3 to 6. So can 9 to 12 maneru, and that's how you do things.
You experience the whole round the clock.
Yeah.
Interesting. Isn't it hard though? And I can't imagine waking up to go and do. Would you wake up early to go and do the 3 to 6, or maybe you just stay on?
No, we said go do like kana only 12 to 3 unopikwa kumba na 11.
Okay.
And then ubodzo zero after a shift. Kana only 3 to 6 unopikwa na 2 a.m. But still it's hard. Kumuka at that time. Ooh, you're supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah.
So, but don't do it because you don't get tired.
Okay.
So yeah.
And do people actually listen to radio that time?
Oh, trust me, they do.
Really?
Yeah, they do. especially when you have interesting topics novaona vakuburuka kuma-terrace because kazhinji uchingotanga unenge uchigeja nekuti who is listening like through my WhatsApp numbers, but it's not even like that because I'm also one person who listens to the radio and will never text even nichikuziya maybe nyako ichitonakidza ndozongokudza nditi ndaimbokuteerera manesuro so that's but a lot of people do listen, especially around that time.
Interesting. Everyone will be sleeping like us at that time. That's the truth. Okay. All right. So you've been doing it for how long now, this journey of being a radio and TV personality?
TV started in 2021 and then radio. And then like TV and feel like it's a stepping stone kuti radio. So
okay.
Zvakatora time would go office kwa boss chitokumbira vanzivana mukudego like tanga tiri tudiki and just because ungodo radio and also jisangana nana popsy nana butterfly encouraged I want to be like her and then also I think takazo TV radio ndakazita ini ndakazita I think it was October through internship.
Okay.
Yeah, ndoba ndakatazopinda ku radio. So I think zvese tongo to 2021.
Okay. So it's been quite a journey for you and a lot of hard work and probably knocking on doors which ones know and just you keep on trying.
Yeah.
So that's another lesson, obviously. Don't give up. Keep on knocking on that door.
No. Yeah, I think that's another thing because pani I think there's so many lessons also to know, especially when it comes to that journey. Because pani a point yakuti unopezera kuboekana, especially when you're dealing with someone who's a celebrity and is also a boss, like no ganza. So ukaramba uchidaro, one day zvinozoita. There's another one. And the second one is I'm one person. Aningati andisi munano socialize anti. But at the same time I was that person yokuti ndikangogona tokut hi ndebo. But also with time, especially in the industry you're supposed to be networking. Yeah. So it's really different. Making friends and networking is something that is very different because you'd be surprised that I have 3 friends. And but no network now. So if you're also someone you should network. Yeah.
Okay. So those are also really powerful lessons. I think with anything you need to network, right? It then allows you to open the next door to maybe something else if you do know people in the industry that you're in.
It'll be very easy to approach certain people. Maybe would we do an interview like, hey, I saw you with Taffy the other day. Can she come to my show? Like there's something like that.
Okay. All right. So with the time that you have been doing TV, or radio, has somebody been like TaffyRue Ayati and like what you were to TaffyRue Ayati? Has somebody come to you and be like, I've seen you on YGT?
Do you know what? Like Pandataura Pepe, Kutipagutanga, it was all about fame. I wanted that. Yeah. Ujifamba someone and say, hey, can I take a picture? And it happened. And Kashinjikanemunu manja uningo na uninga feel right ndini. But sometimes now you're bored. Kombi. And then moon over tongo we're like,
so take a picture.
Yeah. And so maybe I think this is a photo dress popo because TV like why should I dress nicely?
Yeah, like, radio nobody's gonna see what
exactly.
You're looking
like. But I've met people one day. Yeah, and then some like I think because uchitaura now you feel like you know each other. That's why they approach you like you're supposed to be nice. Yeah, une heartbreak. You're supposed to be hey. How are you?
Yes,
smiling.
Yeah, which can be hard. I can imagine. But I mean, because I know there's this other function I was at, and this young lady actually came up and she's like, are you from Bring It On? And then I was like, yeah. And she's like, I've been watching like your like every time we came out on YGT, for example, or someone from Bring It On would come out on YGT. So I was thinking, if somebody managed to see us, is there like once in a while or whatever. What about you? When people are watching, you know, YGT every Friday and Saturday,
I'd PC do sana KVG nana popsy and all, but easy to show major. Sometimes you go somebody mood and that's when you start understanding why this guy sometimes but you're not supposed to be like that though. Yeah, because I'm not too far out and you're supposed to smile and take a picture.
Because I think you do make people's lives, right? Because like they'll be doing whatever they're doing, they're listening to you on radio, or they're watching TV, and you come up on TV and you probably talk about things that really connect with them and they feel like you know them, right? When they do come up to you, they're like, Sassy Jinger S2 E9.
Exactly.
Like she knows what I've been through with the heartbreak and all of that. So I guess that's why when people then come up to you, they feel like they really do know you.
Funny, this person, I got to hug her from behind, and I am not a hugger. So I'm not a hugger. So where's from behind and it's a stranger, let's scream Sassy. And I think that is the only time I'm getting in Rimin. And then I said, did I saw you on why didn't I haze? Did you say? But
because I have Zimbabwe, I think also being a well-known person, in unafuti mari yacho yekuratidza kuti you are a well-known person.
Change it up, pressure test for buzz 50 cents.
I can only imagine. All right. No, that's fine. So, we've come to the time. I'm hesitating because I know that you're gonna have good questions for me.
I was waiting for that part.
But we've come to the time in the podcast where we get to switch roles, and you can ask me some questions.
How many?
Talk 3 maximum.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 3. Okay. Thank you. Ditangi.
Yes.
Okay. So, see Taffy with the angelic voice, singing, and I'm sure you've been asked this one. Why this?
Why the podcast?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah, I think I have been asked this question before, but it's more about sharing the platform. Like, I have the certain resources that probably other people don't have in terms of the equipment and the space and the skills and the knowledge that I do have. And I wanted to have a platform where I could share what I do have with the people around me. Okay. I work with a lot of young people who we kind of like mentor and take through, bring it on. And, it's amazing for them to also go on TV and everything like that. But you can only go on TV a number of times. So, we needed to create a lot more platforms for them to just experience what it's like, being asked questions, maybe in a more, an environment where there's not, a time restriction, 15 minutes and it's it. And just get to know each person, because I know, Guti, once you are able to tell if somebody's able to tell their story, other people can connect with that. And people say, Guti, when people connect to you and they like you, then they'll be able to, support you, buy your products, or whatever the case may be. So yes, that's why I'm doing the podcast.
Okay, so I'm a good listener. I'm a good listener. My communicators machine, they're bad listeners. So you mentioned something about telling a story, right? Yes. And I'm one person and a DPSA also mental health. So I've never heard anyone ask you this question. There's a song that I like. That is Nemi. And they deeply aesthetic. Sometimes when you're feeling low and you can actually listen to this, no, don't even by Nemi. So when you are you the one who wrote it?
Yes.
Okay. So when you wrote that song, what type of situation I get to say exactly? Was it a good situation or a deep message? And then you know what, God, I trust in you.
That's a good question. Yeah, I haven't been asked that question. So, in terms of my faith, I've always, been a person who's like, I trust in God and everything, right? And when that song came about, for me, I personally was looking at, just what the country has been through, just everybody just having such a hard time. And a lot of the times the temptation is to look out there and be like, what can make my life better? But to tell you the truth, God is the only one. He's the source. He's where we need to get our strength from. And so I wrote that song with that in mind, together with Pastor G. But that being said, a lot of the times when I write music, God has this way of then taking me through, an experience that song then really comes comes into play, and it starts ministering to me as well. So yeah, it's like, yes, I wrote it from a place where I'm like, okay, I want to encourage people, but it has also become an encouragement to me through the difficult times that I have faced.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least makaza nama difficult times later matonyora indakatanga ukuthi deepisa understands what okay. And as much as we're going through all this, trust in God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the final one. We know Taffy Ajimba, right? And when can we expect another banger? I think I feel like, okay, this song is going to piece of the Nemi.
I don't know, Guti. Can you ever be sure Guti song you'll try to listen next is going to outdo the other one? But I am releasing something on the 30th of May. I don't know when this episode will air, but whether it will be before or after. But the 30th of May, I'm releasing a song called Kukunda.
Kukunda.
Sorry, 30th of June, yes.
Kukunda.
Kukunda,
Okay.
yeah. So
right.
I hope it's going to do well.
I think if it has something to do especially the way I listen to Nemi, I think you can listen to Kukunda also. So I think nguva ya pera. So, but I always say this when I'm leaving radio. Be kind, be humble, and spread love. We need it. And whatever that you want, whatever that you need, be patient, be persistent, and pray about it. Positive vibes only.
Nice. I think to end the show, Mega, you've heard it for yourselves. You said what? Be kind, be humble,
and spread love.
And with that, until next time, goodbye.